All right, family. Welcome to tonight's vision call. We meet here every single Sunday, rain, sleet, or shine. I am excited for tonight's call and for you guys to gain all of this value. I want to say that if this is your very first time on today's call, one, I don't usually do them from the inside of a car, right? But leaders adjust. I am currently out in Dallas, Texas right now. I just wrapped up an amazing conference. And I also want to say if you are brand new to the company and brand new to our community, welcome. This past weekend, there was a phenomenal, life-changing, trading-changing, business-changing event that happened that I had the opportunity to speak at. But more importantly, I got to learn. I got to learn from millionaire mentors who have the belief level that I want, who have the leadership that I want, who have the results that I want, right? And for those of you who tuned in, I want you to blow up the chat box with how phenomenal, how impactful this past weekend was. And for those of you who didn't tune in this past weekend, no stress. Know that there is always opportunity for you to tune into our calls. There will be another major event happening in November 7th. Actually, the date is locked in. So feel free to start gearing your schedule for that, especially if you want to attend in person. There is nothing like in-person energy. I truly believe that commitment. I say this all the time. Commitment is easier in community. So shout out to you for showing up today. Again, if you are brand new, every single Sunday we meet here to do one thing, to start our week off the right way, together, focused, more driven, understanding the purpose that was placed down inside of us, understanding and refocusing on energy on why we got started in this business in the first place, right? Because let's be honest, sometimes we need to refocus ourselves. Sometimes we need to remind ourselves of why we got started. Sometimes we need to make sure that we get the one thing that's going to make the difference, right? Which is our mindset. I want you to understand that everything begins and ends here in your mind. Think about the car that I'm sitting in right now was once a thought. This laptop that I'm on was once a thought. Wi-Fi was once a thought before it actually came into fruition, right? So we have so much power with our mind. And my goal is that every single Sunday, you shift and shift and shift and shift your mindset so that you can actually yield the results that you want in this business and in your life, right? So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it, family. I want to go ahead and introduce you to our guest speaker. We have a guest speaker tonight, and I'm really excited for our guest speaker because not only is this person in the business, not only is this person passionate about everything that he does, but this person is one of my very best friends. And if you know him, you love him. And if you don't know him, you're going to get to love him in a second. So let me go ahead and brag about him for a second. Let me go ahead and brag about our very own Peps. And if you know who he is, and even if you don't know who he is, I want you to go ahead and show him some love in the chat box, y'all, because he's about to bless you today with an encouraging word for you to go ahead and get your week started right. But I want you to already just start showing the gratitude for the changes and the shift that you're going to have on this call because he decided to pour into you, right? Now, I want to say something. One, Peps has been one of my very best friends for the past 7 to 8 years. He has been in this industry of entrepreneurship and in this space with me for the past 7 years. I have personally mentored him. I want you to think of what it'll be like to personally be mentored by someone who has results, by someone who has been able to accomplish all the things that they wanted to accomplish for 7 years. The reason why I say this is because if there's anyone that I trust to share information with you to help shift perspective, it is the person who has been alongside me for the past 7 years, building business together in this entrepreneur space. I want you to understand the experience that this person has, that Peps has. A little background on him. He left a 6-figure salary to pursue his passion and to be his own boss. How many people do you know are that fearless to leave a 6-figure salary in human resources, right? To pursue a career in entertainment and to be an entrepreneur. Talk about stepping out on faith, right? And for the past few years, he has worked for himself. He is a trader. He is a serial entrepreneur and an entertainer. And with the short time that he's been a part of our platform here, I Am, he has given himself over a $12,000 a year raise on his income. I want you to understand that at an average job, you can't be there for a year and say, hey, I think I'm doing a really great job. Do you think next year you can raise my income by $12,000? They're going to look at you like you're crazy. Most people have to work at a job years to get a $2, $3 raise. Hello, somebody. Can I get a hello, somebody in the chat for all my people who know, who work jobs? Know that it's very hard to boost your income that dramatically in a year or two. He has been able to do that and also make money trading. And I'm so excited that you all get to hear from him today. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and pass the floor over to my brother and let him bless this Zoom and bless all of you with an encouraging word. So everybody, please give it up in the chat box one more time for Peps. And Peps, the floor is all yours. Take it away.
Sheesh. Wow. Wow. Tia, thank you so much. I absolutely love you. I adore you. You're my sister, my best friend, my business partner, my mentor, and I'm so thankful to be on this call. First of all, I have this weird little webcam that's a little bit of a lag. So I apologize if I'm talking and my face isn't moving. It's not Botox. It's just the camera.
Oh, you're good. You're good. You're not lagging at all. You're great.
Okay, great. Then it's my computer. So before I start any call, I like to just clear the space. I like to clear the energy. So what I ask is to everybody just for a quick second, just close your eyes, clear your laps, release anything from your hands, and take a deep breath in and slowly exhale. Take another deep breath in and slowly exhale. And just keep that same rhythm of breath. And my intention for this call is to give you whatever you feel that you need for this week. That could be encouragement, that could be motivation, it could be strategy, it could be maybe just love and grace and peace. Whatever it is that you feel that you need, I want you to tap into that frequency and that headspace. And when I get to one, not yet, when I get to one, I want you to slowly open your eyes and bring yourself back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So I like to do that for honestly just one reason and one reason only. The main reason is because so often we carry our days with us. We carry our baggage, we carry our history, we carry, the rejection, the disappointment, the traffic, you overslept, all this energy that just clouds our ability to receive, and our ability to think. And I did this session for my boot camp, for my coach, for my clients this past week. And I thought the best thing that I could do is to talk about roadblocks. One of the things that I've seen just in life is that there's always going to be roadblocks. There's always going to be, somebody's leaving your business. Maybe you'll get sick. Maybe you'll lose your job. Maybe you're in a relationship and then that relationship comes to an end. And there's always going to be some sort of roadblock, some sort of obstacle or challenge that is really going to test you, And I always say this, we're not tested to see if we're going to pass. We're tested to see how we'll pass, not if we're going to pass, but how. And Gabriel Bernstein says this, obstacles are detours in the right direction, meaning we can't expect to pursue our dreams, get after our goals, literally do the things that we dream ourselves of doing without any challenges, without any obstacles, without any tests. We can't get something for nothing. If it is something that is so easy, it is not worth your greatness. It is not worth your ability to actually pursue that goal. So one of the main things that I'm going to caution everybody on this call is there is going to be obstacles, there's going to be roadblocks, there's going to be things, times, and people that will test you. And my question for you, besides this one on my screen, my question for you is, what are you going to do when that happens? What are you going to do when that obstacle, that retracement, that pullback shows up in your life and you're going to have to make a decision? You're going to have to make a decision as to how you're going to proceed. Because I'll say this, when problems arise, there's always something to do. You're either going to do something about it or you'll accept it. And a question that I actually want you guys to like, maybe just drop some quick answers in the chat box are, what are some roadblocks that can get in the way of success? What are some roadblocks that can get in the way of success? And I like to train with interaction. So please drop it in the chat, right? We have fear, the mind, family. Come on, there's a few people on this call, not just 3 people, right? Work, disappointment, lack of confidence, overthinking, so many things, right? And a lot of them are so similar, right? And everything that you're mentioning in this chat box is either a symptom of the 4 L's, right? The 4 L's that will literally prevent you from your dreams, from actually moving forward, from having that happiness, that joy, the finances, the body, right? These 4 L's are lack of proper belief, lack of preparation, lack of self-control, and lack of support. And I actually just want to stay on lack of self-control for a second, right? Lack of self-control is as follows. It's like, you know what you need to do. You know it. You're like, I got to go to the gym. I got to get on this diet, or I have to study. I have to get on these go lives. I have to read this book. I have to seek mentorship, but you do nothing. Or worse, you do the opposite. You don't go to the gym. You keep eating what you're eating. You don't ask for help. You don't ask for support. You don't seek the information. So you're literally downplaying your dreams and goals because of your inability to be self-controlled. Because self-control means you have to do what you need to do regardless of how you feel. Meaning if you want to build up a 6 or 7 figure business and you have the info, you have the mentors, you have access to the information, to the skill set, but you don't apply it, you are lacking in the area of self-control. You are lacking in your ability to self-discipline yourself. And I just wanted to park on that little segment for a quick second, because it is so important to realize that our actions are going to be a direct reflection of what we believe in. And our actions are usually going to lead to either a result that's going to be positive or negative. The question is, if you don't have self-control, that result is going to be something that you do not want, potentially, right? And I want to encourage everybody to get into the space of awareness, specifically self-awareness. You know, we know our bad habits. We know the things that we should be doing. And a lot of times we choose the opposite or nothing at all. Some of us wait. You know, we wait for the right moment. We wait for the right encouragement. We wait for the ability, you know, to do the right thing at the right time, expecting that that right time and that right moment is going to show up out of nowhere. You know, and how often do we wait for the right moment to show up, not realizing that if maybe we just believed properly, maybe we just believed a little bit more in ourselves. Maybe if we just believed that we have the ability to do and be anything that we want to be. And you see this question on my screen, and logically you may understand it. You may feel that, you know what, I believe in myself. I believe in my abilities. I believe in my skill set, but based on results. If you were to look at your life right now, from your home, your body, your finances, your relationships, your career, based on those external results, what do you actually believe in? What are you actually saying to yourself that is dictating what you're doing? Because we always believe in something. You know, the person that believes that they can believes in themselves. The person that believes that they can't do something does not believe in themselves. They actually believe themselves to be incapable. It is not a lack of belief. It is a lack of proper belief. So I humbly offer up, while you're on this call, to see what it is that you're believing in. You know, so many of us work together, whether it is trading or seeking entrepreneurism. But if you don't have the results that you want, it's going to be usually down to one main thing. And that is lack of proper belief. Because my opinion is this: the symptoms of a lack of proper belief, whether it is in yourself or in what you do, is going to show up not even just in your results, but also in your perception of who you are and your perception of opportunity. A lack of proper belief is going to really dictate what it is that you view to be available to you. A lack of proper belief is going to show you that things are not easy. It's going to show you that nothing is possible. It's going to show you that you do not take responsibility for yourself. But if you were to slowly, not even slowly, if you were to change your mind frame, your mindset, and work on your belief level into yourself, the whole world will open up for you. Promise you. You'll be able to do things that you would be surprised about, right? Because everything that I mentioned, right, from a lack of preparation, a lack of self-control, a lack of support, those are sub-symptoms of your belief level, right? You can't expect to really show up for yourself, show up for others, if you don't believe in yourself. You can't expect to actually execute on your dreams and your ideas if you don't believe in yourself. So I ask you this: how does a lack of proper belief show up in your life? And to give you an example, and I actually want to see some responses in the chat box, but to give you a personal example, a belief that I used to have that was so improper was that for people to like me, I needed to spend all my money on them. That was a belief level that I used to have, that I needed to spend all my money for people to like me and to signify that I was successful. So the way that that would show up in my life is I would make a lot of money and I would spend it all. And I ask you this, if you're comfortable sharing in the chat box, what are the things in your life that you do that are essentially self-sabotaging your success? Whether it is oversleeping, not following your diet, not studying, not working with other people, not being coachable. Maybe these belief levels that are so improper are costing you more than you think. Because realistically speaking, even though I was always making a lot of money, I was so good at making good money, but I was even better at spending that money that it was costing me my ability to be financially free. And then that was costing me a mental peace of mind. And I just want to see some of these responses, right? Overbooking myself, giving my time to anyone I meet, not finding a good job, procrastinating on my goals, fear of people not believing in you, worried about other people other than myself, not following my own rules. And firstly, thank you for being so open and sharing so publicly. And I want to ask you this, is that those things that you mentioned have more to do with how you view yourself than anything else. And if you're seeing the cost, right, of this improper belief, then you have to create a new belief. Because one thing is this, is these belief levels are going to show up in a varieties of ways, right? And the main consequence of having a poor belief level, an improper belief level, is not even just in the symptoms that you mentioned in the chat. It's mostly going to be in your self-confidence. Because there's this theory, right? We'll call it a theory, that our word is our bond. Our word is our bond. Now, our actions, right? Our actions will either make our bond. It'll either break it or it'll fortify it. So if you're saying one thing, but you're doing the opposite, then you're out of integrity with yourself. If you're saying you want to be financially free, but you're spending all your money, you're out of integrity with yourself. If you're saying that you believe in yourself and that you want these dreams and you want these goals, but you procrastinate, you don't do the work, you don't show up, to do the things that you said that you would do, you are literally downplaying yourself, and subsequently you are breaking your ability to trust yourself. You are breaking your ability to actually believe in what you said that you would do. So if you cannot trust yourself, if you cannot believe in yourself, how can one expect that somebody else would? I can't expect somebody to trust me if I don't trust me. For me to be trustworthy, I have to be trustworthy. And the first person, the absolute first person that has to be my biggest source of trust is me. The first person that has to believe in me is me, right? And every single morning, I'll go over this later, but every single morning I do these affirmations, and you can write them down. I do these affirmations that remind me of what it is that I need to do. Affirmations such as, I am an unrepeatable miracle, or I show up at 100, or I always have a choice. Affirmations that I have to actually abide by and do the work for them to actually become true. And I want to give you guys some tips on this call, because I'm very big on like motivation, inspiration, giving you ideas, but I'm also big on being practical and taking actionable items. And I actually just want to first and foremost demystify confidence. I want to demystify belief. I want to demystify, what it means to hold yourself accountable. And that has a lot to do with confidence. And we hear it all the time. Believe in yourself. Say the affirmations. But you have to understand this. Confidence is something that you work on. Confidence, real, pure, honest confidence, is something that has to come from within. And I want to give you 5 things that confidence is not. Number 1, confidence isn't always there. Meaning you might see the vision, you might see the dream, you might have the business idea, you may have the plan, but deep down you're like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. You may believe in the dream, you may believe in the idea, but you yourself, you're like, oh, I don't know if this is something that I can do. It doesn't matter. If you have the dream, if you have the idea, sometimes you just have to do the work. I believe that the action may not always come before the feeling. I believe that the feeling may not come before the action. But a lot of times, if you do the right action, the right feeling will come. Meaning you may not feel like doing the work. You may not feel like it is going to work out. But maybe, just maybe, if you stay consistent, if you take the appropriate action steps and do them day in and day out, at one point, that feeling, those results that you want are going to catch up. So I offer up that you don't wait for the confidence to show up. Sometimes the confidence will show up because you do the work. It's like me and dancing. I absolutely love to dance. And the reason being is that dancing makes me feel happy. Dancing makes me feel joyful. I don't typically start dancing just because I'm happy, even though I naturally am. But sometimes, especially if I'm feeling sad or down, I will dance because I know it'll make me happy. So I take the action in order to be happy. So I offer up that you not wait to feel overly confident to do something. If you're questioning it and you're afraid, do it anyways. Secondly, confidence isn't fixed. This is big. So many of us expect that confidence is going to be here every single day for the rest of our lives. But if you go through a loss, a breakup, financial instability, your confidence is going to be rocked. On the flip side, let's say you're unemployed for months and you finally get that job that you want, your confidence is probably going to go up. So you have to understand that confidence is like a wave. It's going to go up, it's going to go down, it's going to crash, it's going to reform. So you can't be too hard on yourself for always experiencing some level of instability in your confidence. Now, what we want to do, right? What we want to do is establish a baseline. You want to establish a baseline that should you experience setbacks, roadblocks, which you will, we all do, you don't question who you are. You don't question your self-worth. Maybe your confidence will take a hit in some area, but you shouldn't let one area completely affect how you view yourselves, right? And thirdly and fourthly, right? Confidence is not for a select few, and it is also not a personality type. Confidence, just like success, is not reserved for the loudest person in the room. It's not reserved for the richest person in the room. It's not reserved for the person that comes from money with a perfect family. It is not reserved for anyone or any personality type in specific. Confidence is reserved to the person that actually honors their belief level by doing the work to actually reflect what that belief is. So I offer up that whenever you're questioning your confidence and feel like that will never happen for somebody like me, or you feel like, damn, I wonder if I'll ever really get this goal or get this dream because I'm just not that person that I see in the movies or on TV or on stages training people, that you find what is great about yourself. Because every single person on this call has exactly what they need to be successful. And lastly, confidence isn't arrogant. Pure, honest confidence could mean somebody who is quiet, who is humble, and the back of the room could be the most confident person in there. Confidence doesn't always manifest itself as loudness. You can be humble and be bold. You can be bold and be soft-spoken. You can be loud and be insecure. Confidence is going to show up in your results, and then also how you view not even just the world, but who you are internally. So I offer up that you don't fall into the paradox of confidence, because so often, I said it before, so often we wait to feel like it. We wait to feel great. We wait to feel strong, in charge, feeling rich, feeling fly, to take action, to call your friend, to go on a date, to build a business, to leave your job. When I left my job, I was like, oh my God. I was like, what is happening? I was like, at 6 figures out the door. I was like, from 1 minute to the next, I was like, okay. And I was like, I don't even know what is gonna happen, and I was experiencing, a lack of confidence in the area of finances, and then also my ability to move on with my life, doing what I love to do. But I was like, you know what? I will never see more. I will never become more if I don't start doing the work. And sometimes it's doing the work is actually going to lead to confidence. It's going to lead to a greater sense of self-worth. It is going to lead to feeling more accomplished and more fulfilled. And I don't want you guys to fall into the trap of waiting to feel a certain feeling to do something with your lives, even with your week. Even if you're trying to build a business or you're in sales and you're like, I don't feel like making cold calls or inviting people or getting on the charts or going to the gym. Who cares what you feel like? If you have a dream and you have a goal and you have the vision, you have to do the work for said dream, goal, or vision. One of my earlier mentors said, successful people do what is necessary, not what is convenient. Successful people do what is necessary, not what is convenient. And what that means is you may need an extra job. You may need to study more. You may need to go to bed earlier, wake up earlier. You may need to save more. You may need more mentorship. You may need more audios. You may need more books. Whatever it is that you need for your dream, for your vision, for yourself, go after it and get it. Because sometimes that feeling that you're looking for is going to show up after the work, right? I would rather much feel more fulfilled in my life, which is usually after I do the work. I would rather not have my goals, but me doing the work. I would rather do the work and maybe wait for my goals a little bit longer, because one of the things that I know to be true is the only times I feel bad about myself is when I know I could have done something better, different, that I didn't do. Those are the only moments when I feel regret. When I feel like, what if I would have done this? What if I would have showed up for myself or showed up for my friend? What if I tried a little bit harder? What if I tried a little bit more deeper, or did something differently, or asked for more help? What if I tried something? Those what if questions are a reflection of the fact that there was something that you could have done, but chose not to do it. So I offer up this mentality that whether or not you get your dream, or get your goal, grow that bank account, that trading account, that you still do the work. You know, I was talking to Tia earlier because she's holding me accountable for my business. And I was like, I didn't get the results that I wanted, but I was like, I did the work. I was like, I did the work. I did exactly what I wanted to do. One day it was a little bit more difficult, but I did the best that I could, that I don't feel bad. We only really feel bad when we know there was more inside of us to give, more inside of us to do. I would rather give as much as I can instead of withholding, either from other people or myself. Because one thing that I know to be true, and this is just my personal belief, is that these dreams, these visions, these life plans, these big 5, 10, 15-year goals that we have are bigger than us. And if we don't give it all that we have, if we don't show up to our fullest potential, whether we get the goal or not, we are lowering our standard. And we are also affecting people who are connected to that dream or vision. So I would rather show up at 100 and maybe not get my dream, knowing that I did everything that I could. Because at some point, just based on the law of action and reaction, it will be returned to me on some level. Now, getting back to just the practicality of this, right? And we're gonna close soon, right? Building up your confidence. The first thing that I offer up, the very first thing that I offer up, especially if you feel like you struggle with your self-confidence, is identifying where you lack confidence. Is it in relationships? Is it in your body? Is it in your ability to public speak? Is it in your ability to trade? Identify the areas that you lack confidence in. Secondly, because everything has a trigger, identify what triggers that moment of lack of confidence. Identify maybe is the fact that I don't really know what this video is saying. Or maybe it's this person, this family member that is always belittling my dreams and belittling me. Identify what are the triggers that make you feel unconfident, right? Because it's not like you just wake up unconfident and you just stay like that. There is usually some trigger that has conditioned you to have the habit of lacking confidence. You know, we operate for the most part out of habit. Being confident and being unconfident is also a habit. But if you do the work to replace that improper habit rooted in an improper belief, you can replace that habit and also build up a better belief system. So identify not just the areas, but the triggers of your lack of confidence. Thirdly, it's probably the most important step. What are you saying to yourself when you feel like you're unconfident? What are you talking to yourself like? Like, really listen to yourself. I remember when I was going through my sort of anxiety in college, I would always just feel anxious about going to dance class, about my looks. And it took me really realizing, like, bro, what are you talking to yourself like? If I talk negatively to myself, I can't expect to live positively or be happy. So listen to what you are saying to yourself. Listen to the words that you are feeding yourself. And the last two steps, they kind of go hand in hand. Find practical strategies that you can implement to change that. And then take action. Meaning, don't just learn the information. Don't just find the strategy. Don't just get on these calls or listen to Tony Robbins or Lisa Nichols or Mel Robbins, whoever that you listen to, and not apply the information, but actually take the knowledge, find the strategy, and do the work to make it a part of your lifestyle. Because we're always believing in something. And belief is like a muscle that you have to exercise every single day. Belief is a muscle that if you don't work on every single day, especially if you have the long-lasting habit of negative self-talk, then you need to do more work day in and day out. If you've been thinking negatively for the past 20, 30 something years, and you're now just learning about affirming beliefs, you're now just learning about this work, you cannot expect for that bad habit to go away like this. If anything, if you've had a bad habit for like 40 years, it is not going to take 21 days to replace. You can't undo 40 years of work in 21 days, likely. So if that is a long-lasting habit, and most of us were raised primarily with limiting beliefs, then you have to take it upon yourself and be responsible to literally work on your belief level every single day. Because if you don't work on your belief level, those roadblocks, those scenarios, those situations, those pullbacks, those retracements are going to come up, and you're going to fall back, and you're going to be back in square one, and you don't even know what square one is. So I offer up that you make it a part of your lifestyle to work on your belief level and to start closing this thing out, right? There are two types of beliefs, two types. For most of this call, we focus on limiting beliefs. We focus on how our belief level, our improper belief level, will show up in our results. We focus on how having a set of ideas or ideologies is going to affect our actions, which therefore are going to affect our results, right? But one thing that I don't want anybody to do, because personal development, motivation is daily and it is ongoing. And a trap that I've seen time and time and time again is that people are like, oh my God, I have so much to work on. Oh my God, I'm never that person. I'm still not that person. It's been years. And I still have this area to work on, this goal to work on, this dream to work on. Do not fall into the trap of working on yourself from the belief level of you not being good enough, because that is a setup for failure. Do not work on yourself from the idea that you have to do all this work because you're still not good enough. That is a recipe for failure. One thing that I tell myself day in and day out is I work on myself. I do what I do. I listen to audios. I do these affirmations because I am choosing to be better, because I am worthy of being better. I don't tell myself I got to listen to this audio because I'm not good enough. Enough of that. I tell myself I deserve to do this work because I deserve to be better, be more, and show up as my highest potential. So do not fall into the trap of working on yourself from the limiting perspective of not being good enough. And that is something that happens all the time when people get into personal development. They're like doing all this work, paying thousands of dollars on these seminars. And deep down, they're like, it's because I'm not good enough. Don't fall into doing the right work for the wrong reasons, because that is going to affect the quality of the results. And before I start closing out this thing out, drop it in the chat. Just one thing, everybody, please, just one thing that you are so proud of for yourself. Just one thing, drop it in the chat. Because I think it is so important to just realize, what are the things that you're struggling with, that you got to improve upon, but also give yourself some credit. Make it a habit to end the day with gratitude and things that you're proud of for yourself. So please, in the chat box, drop it in, one thing that you are proud of for yourself. Continuing to push through, saying yes, accomplishing one of my many goals. I am an overcomer, finding inner strengths and being grateful for that. Also staying consistent, my consistency towards mentorship. And I offer up that even though you may not have exactly what you want just yet, even though you feel like you still have to cross a full football stadium's worth of work, that you also realize how far you've come, right? Because you want to get into the habit of being a victor. All of this work, and I'm going to give you guys some homework for yourselves, is to really ask yourself, what is it that I believe in about myself? Because your belief level is going to make you one of two things: a victim or a victor. So many victims, they focus on the problems. They are waiting to be rescued. They feel like they can't succeed. They avoid responsibility, meaning if something wrong happens in their lives, they're like, well, I don't know where that came from. Well, can't do anything about that, right? So your belief level is going to affect how you show up in the world. And we've gone through a lot of information in the past 30, 40 minutes or so for us to identify the things that would make us feel more victorious. We want to focus on solutions. You want to find that inner strength, that inner resolve. You want to feel like it is possible, right? And this really comes down to your belief level, to how you view yourselves, to your ability to trust yourself, which is going to affect your self-confidence. So if you want to take a screenshot of the screen, go for it. But I want to just encourage you guys to do the work this week. I'm going to give you guys my personal daily hacks that I do every single day to make myself feel good about me, about life, about the work. And there are 6 things. Now, maybe it'll be one thing that you implement. Maybe it'll be all 6. Maybe it'll be 4. I don't know. Take what you can from this call and apply it. There's only one thing that I don't do daily from this list, right? And I'm going to go through this list. So the first one is moving affirmations, not morning, moving. By that I mean is I do my affirmations in the morning while doing push-ups or sit-ups or insanity. I do them with a physical action, because if I say something while exerting physical energy, it actually makes it that much more stronger and more profound, right? Even if the way that we stand or sit, if we're upright, we feel more confident, versus if we sit like this or cross our arms, we are naturally going to close off our energy. So if I want my affirmations to have a power boost, I do them while working out, while dancing, while doing yoga, and it takes all of 10 minutes. Secondly, it's going to sound a little crazy. Rubber band. By that I mean is, I always tell my clients to do this, is get a rubber band, put it on your wrist, and whenever you catch yourself having a negative thought, you snap it. Reason being is because we would probably check somebody else talking negatively to us than we do ourselves. So you should check yourself. And if you catch yourself having a negative thought, snap it and then correct that thought. Change it. Thirdly, taking risks. Tia hit me up literally today. She was like, "You're doing the call." I was like, "Oh, cool, great." And I was like, check mark, my risk for the day, right? Mind you, I don't feel unconfident in public speaking, but what I usually prefer is having more time, going through more of my slides, but it is a risk for me to test myself and do something in a different way that I know to be a good benefit for me. So taking a risk, it could be, calling your mom, finally working out, doing more calls, taking your trade by yourself, a risk that could pay off. Fourthly, audios, personal development all day, every day. Fifth, a feel-good moment. There's not a day that I don't dance. And maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes, a dance class. There's not a day that I don't give myself the treat, the reward of something that feels good, whatever that is for you. And 6, condition your mind before sleep. Could be meditation, yoga, motivation, something that lets your brain tune into the right frequency for the next day. Because your day doesn't start when you wake up. Your day is always ongoing. Your day starts from what you do the night before to what you do that day of. Your day is always ongoing. And in closing, I leave you with this last question. What would your life look like if you had a better belief system? Who would you be? What would your home look like? What would your finances look like? Your body, your health? Would you be happier? Would you be more excited about life? Would you be doing something that would excite you? Would you be doing something or being someone that is worthy of the person that you are right now? My intention for this call isn't just to give you practical tips and strategies, which I did, or give you knowledge or background on how confidence works and limiting beliefs. My intention for this call is for hopefully that we have an amazing week ahead, and that will only happen if you believe that is possible for you. That will only happen if you surprise yourself and being a person of your word, being a person that is trying their best. Whether you fail or succeed, that is irrelevant. What matters is who you are and what you do. So I firstly want to thank you guys for tuning into this call. I'm so grateful and humbled to have had the opportunity. And I really want you guys to just marinate on some of that information. You know, what is your limiting belief? What are some of the bad habits that could be enforcing this belief level? What would it matter to, what would it mean to you if you change that belief level into something beneficial? But guys, thank you so much. I wish you guys an amazing rest of your week. I wish you guys lots of success, joy, peace, and happiness. And if you guys need anything from me, I'm on Telegram and I'm on Instagram. So reach out, send a DM, send a lifeline. But guys, enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.